Hello boys and girls, quick recap of the most interesting things that we know so far for 10.2 from my eyes and my perspective, of course, for a healer playing Mythic Plus. Now, first, they're changing a little bit the way that the crests work. The crest will now be a currency, which is great. We're going to save some back slots. There's not going to be fragments. It's just going to be the crests themselves. And you're going to acquire them a little bit slower in the beginning, which I think is basically totally fine. The best thing that they did with crests is the ability to be able to upgrade a gear and not basically waste the crest, because you can then upgrade the pieces to that item level that you used the crest for already, which in my opinion is great. The other big change with the crests is that you will be able to obtain a lesser crests if you're already maxed out on, let's say, the aspect crests, whatever the equivalent is. So this is also great because you're not going to be made to spam lower key dungeons to the ones that you're doing just to get the lesser crests. The catalyst will also be open at week 1. You acquire new charge every 2 weeks, so that's another great change for, especially for ults and for non-raiding characters. So those are all great positive changes. Now, the massive nerf to the crafted gear is not that massive. Basically, you will be getting the equivalent of a 444 item level crafted gear instead of 447, which I think is sad because the crafted gear is basically time gated as well. You're not getting the sparks that quickly anyway, so if you're on your main, you have to wait a few weeks to actually get everything at max level, and then your ults are not able to get the 447 immediately as well, because even if you have the sparks, you don't have the crests that you need to craft them, and also the gear is relatively expensive, I would say. So I don't see why they're nerfing this. They consider this to be too powerful, but I think it's totally fine, especially late in the tier when your main has a lot of crests. You can just craft better pieces. But it is what it is. It's still going to be, I guess, pretty good to have a couple of crafted pieces with embellishments. They're just going to be a little bit lower level than the maximum gear that we'll be able to obtain. And then, of course, apart from the tier sets, we also have the Mythic Plus Dungeon Pool, which includes the Mega Dungeon split into 2. And then we have 2 dungeons from Battle of Azeroth, Taldazar and Waycrest Manor. I was actually a fan both of those. I enjoyed them quite a lot, although I didn't play them much. I haven't been much to the rest of them. Blackroot Hold, Dark Heart Ticket. I'm actually very interested to find out how the bosses here work, because I've done it just once and I have no idea. And then there's also Throne of the Tides, which is a very old dungeon. I'm a little bit worried about this because I've done it on like time walking and things. Didn't look that fluent, but we'll see. I would assume that they're going to make a lot of changes to that dungeon, so it's more interesting for the M plus dungeon pool. And then the other thing that I don't like, as you can see, there are a lot of timers that are quite long. 39 minutes for 4 of the dungeons. Not fan of this because it feels really bad to go into a key and then wipe at the last boss, which is usually one of the hardest parts. This is not fair compared to other parts of the game. I know the comparison is not good, but if you go into an arena or battleground, you do like 5-15 minutes, something like that. Then if you fail, you do another. And then here, you go into a 40-minute dungeon. I'm quite fond of the 30-minute timers, but it is what it is. Everbloom is also a little bit on the longer side, 35 minutes. Not to mention that flasks are currently 30 minutes, right? So if you have a 39-minute timer on the dungeon, yeah, that's a different topic for a different video. But yeah, those are dungeons. I'm quite excited for the top 4, actually for the top 6 here. I'm not sure how the rest is going to turn out because I haven't been to these dungeons, but it is a new season, fresh content, so definitely looking forward to that. Stay tuned for more changes coming on the PTR and let me know what you think of the current ones. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care.